winner is Fernando Tatis. Man, I'm loving this guy right now. Winner because he hit a grand slam on a 3-0 count, which people really don't like, but I'm really loving that he's breaking rules. You got to make it interesting. That's why people think baseball is boring, because the unwritten rule is that he can't swing on a 3-0 count. Well, guess what? He's going to, and he's going to hit bombs. So look out.
Which I didn't even know was an unwritten rule.
Yeah, it's an unwritten rule.
Like, what?
It's like, who cares?
You can't swing down 3-0? Like, that's a rule? Tabo?
It's just something that you don't do, right?
It's a 3-0 count, so they're like, no, you just take the ball. You take the ball and take
especially
the walk.
if you're up by that much, too.
Yeah.
But it's not a ball. Like, that's the thing, is like, the rule is, so my loser is baseball. I'll just get this out of the way since we're now, we've bridged the gap. We'll come back around to you for your loser.
That's fine.
But my loser is baseball, because it's like, the MLB has like this crazy conundrum where they're just thinking like, man, why do we keep losing the viewership of like the younger generation? Why do we keep losing viewers and fans to the NFL, to NBA, and to college sports? It's because of BS like this, where it's, your most electric young superstar in the sport is getting criticized by his own coach for hitting a grand slam.
Yeah, that's
like,
so
in
bad.
What world does anything like this happen? Mike Budenholzer is not criticizing Giannis after the game because he dunked the ball with 5 minutes left up 20. Like, that's not a thing that happens in basketball. In the NFL, no one is criticizing Patrick Mahomes for rushing for a 20-yard touchdown with 8 minutes left up 17. Like, that's not happening in any other sport other than baseball, where your own coach, like, imagine if Harbaugh came out and was like, I thought it was a great game, but Lamar Jackson, I'd appreciate it if he didn't rush for 3 touchdowns with one of them coming in the final 10 minutes.
Yeah, he's like, it was a little, unneeded, unnecessary.
I wish LeBron didn't make that 3 at the
I wish he didn't dunk with only 2 minutes left. Why would you?
Like, that's not a thing that happens in any other sport other than baseball.
Yeah.
And people are like, there are baseball fans that are legitimately upset that he swung at a 3-0 pitch. It's smart baseball.
Yeah.
Like, if it's 3-0, of course, expect the pitch to be coming, center of the strike zone, because the pitcher's just going to try to get a strike.
Right. Well, and then the Padres pitcher is the only guy that really backed him up, and he just said, well, the other guy just needs to throw a better 3-0 pitch.
You don't want him to freaking pimp a grand slam off you. Don't
pitch.
Throw 3 balls in a row.
Yeah.
Don't load the bases and then throw 3 straight balls.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't want that to happen,
you're basically asking the kid not to play ball. Like, what do you?
Which is unbelievable, considering the fact that just last year, baseball's big marketing and commercials were let the kids play.
Yeah.
Let the kids play unless you're up by 6 runs.
And it's a 3-0
in
count.
this 8th inning. Like, that's the crazy thing. It's like, they were up by so much. It's like, we've seen 6-run leads be diminished in baseball. Like, it's Major League Baseball. It's professional sports.
Mariners are killer for it, dude. They love going up by 7 or 8, and then we lose by 5.
We watched Padres Giants a couple weeks ago at your house, Alex, when it was the Padres were up like 8-1.
Yeah.
And by the time I left in the 10th inning, it was 8-8.
Yeah. Things happen.
So we're just going to sit and pretend like he shouldn't try just because they're up by a few runs? I mean, Tubbo, you're our resident baseball guy, our baseball scout. Like, what? How does baseball keep tripping over itself trying to create a product in which fans are going to want to watch, but then at the same time they're criticizing their best young player because he hit a grand slam? Not because he did anything wrong, but because he hit a grand slam, something that every player in Major League Baseball wants to do.
I feel like, it's definitely like the hardest thing that baseball is facing is trying to stay relevant, trying to be entertaining. But, being like America's pastime, I feel like everything's all like old school, olden rules and stuff. So they're like, we want you to be exciting and electric, but we also want you to be like respectful. But no, like.
Respectful to what, though?
I guess the unwritten rules of the past.
But like, they're not unwritten rules because of anything that's happened. It's unwritten rule just because no one else could do that. Like, you didn't see like 20-year-old kids walking up to the plate and pimping grand slams off of pitchers up by 8 runs. Like, they were playing like 2-1 ball games and hitting singles. Like that was that game 50 years ago that this old baseball crowd loves. You're just hitting singles and you're getting people on base and then you're driving in runs. Like, no, like that is baseball 40 years ago, 50 years ago. But this new generation of baseball, it's Fernando Tatis, it's Aaron Judge, it's Tim Anderson for Chicago. It's players just crushing home runs and then having fun and celebrating. But for whatever reason, old school baseball guys just want them to hit singles and, get runners on base and then drive in runs. They want to see those RBIs up and they want to see home runs down. Like, that's the old baseball crowd. But that's not marketable anymore. Like, no one wants to go to a baseball game and just watch a few guys hit singles and score one run an inning and leave, 2 runners in scoring position. Like, no one wants to see that.
That's when the drinking and the hot dogs start getting knocked down. Like, that's the only point.
We want to see Fernando Tatis smash a 500-foot grand slam.
Yeah.
Like, that's what plays on social media. That's what runs on SportsCenter at night. That's what gets talked about the next morning on Undisputed and First Take. That's what people are watching on YouTube. That's, people are going to go out and they're going to buy Fernando Tatis Jr. jerseys now because of that. I mean, Alex bought a Joe Kelly jersey just because Joe Kelly got in a fight.
Exactly. Tell me that isn't awesome.
Like, that.
He said, "Nice swing, bid," and then you immediately locked in. I was like, "That is my guy."
Sells.
Come
nowadays.
on.
So in this age of social media, that is what sells. And for whatever reason, baseball has just been decades behind everyone else when it comes to this.